What is up, people? 5.0 is out for almost a week and we have a lot of things to cover, but I'm gonna start with the thing that was the most requested by you guys, which is guides for the two new harder, let's say, dungeons. Yeah, there's 4 new dungeons, but Arkhal's Hidden Space and Library of Knowledge are a little bit more difficult than the other two, the improved versions of Adma and Theobomo's Lab. Yeah. In terms of group composition, guys, you obviously need a cleric and some class to tank. Now, in terms of tanking, it doesn't have to be a Templar. It can be done by many other classes: Aether Tech, Assassin, Gladiator. All of these classes can tank easily as long as you have a cleric that's on top of his game, and a chanter. I highly recommend the chanter. Actually, I recommend the chanter in every single content in AION because what the chanter gives to the group is absolutely amazing, and it's an asset to have in any group. Yeah. As soon as you enter Arkhal's Hidden Space, you're gonna notice that you're on a platform, obviously, and that there are 3 generators. One here, one is there, and the other one is here. So these 3 generators need to be killed in the time span of 10 minutes. Yeah, obviously the mobs that are around them as well. And each of these generators will, after you start DPSing, the generator itself will spawn a rift. That this one spawns the rift here on the right, that one spawns the rift right there, and this one spawns a rift right here. Yeah, out of those rifts, mobs will come, waves of mobs, like in Rune Shield Tower, and you will have to kill those mobs as well, obviously, or deal with them in another way. But the most satisfying way and the best way to do it is to just, kill the mobs. Now, let's start the recording. This is the first phase of the fight. When you are here, be careful. You can jump, you can fall off this platform through all of the sides, so don't be crazy and try, because I tried it once and the timer started, and basically we just had to wait 10 minutes. After you wait, if someone jumps down and dies, you can just wait all of your 10 minutes up on the platform, then the whole thing resets after 10 minutes and you're good to go. Yeah, so we use the chanter on the generator, just DPS, and we benefit from her mantras. And the rest of us are just going to be DPSing the mobs that come from the rift. As you can see, this is the rift right here, and waves of mobs keep coming. Now, depending on how fast your group is, and depending on how confident you are in dealing with these mobs. For example, right now I just called more DPS on the generator. That means that one of our sorcerers went to the generator himself, DPS the generator a little bit, so that we can spawn the next wave of mobs. Yeah, we spawn the next wave of mobs and we're DPSing these as well. There are some ranged mobs that you guys need to pay attention to, like these two here in our case. Sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 4, depending on the wave. Now, these 2 mobs are hard for a Templar to aggro, as long as you don't have, for example, Prayer of Victory cooldown. Yeah, it's really hard for you to keep moving back and forth. And we kind of need to stay next to the chanter in order to get the mantras. Staying here and DPSing in this spot in front of the rift is not a good idea, because since we do the chanter on totem trick, it's not a trick, it's a tactic, then we kind of, all of us need to stay next to the generator. Yeah, again, 2 ranged mobs, but what we do is one of the sorcerer goes and DPSs the 2 ranged mobs until they're dead, and the rest of us, me, the other sorcerer, and the assassin, are just gonna DPS the mobs that are melees, or that I will pull next to us. Yeah, in terms of the generator, take it easy. Right now for us it's 50%, and we have 1 more mob remaining, and I already called out that we need a bit more damage on the generator, which will spawn this wave of mobs as well. Yeah, if you don't have a pool and you have 2 ranged mobs, obviously you can move a little bit forward. These mobs are always going to be on your cleric, just for you to know, if you're doing this strat with the chanter not healing. Yeah, cleric, you can, if you're a Templar, you can panoply, bodyguard, etc. So nothing is going to happen to the cleric. The cleric can use his or her own shield. It's very straightforward, guys, nothing special. So basically now we're gonna finish off this generator. We're gonna have 3 more mobs incoming, 2 mages and 1 melee. What we do here is we're gonna kill the 2 mages, and then this melee mob, we're gonna take him all the way to the next generator, basically, which is that way. Yeah, Let's skip a little bit ahead in time. This is the next generator, same thing. The first generator, if you jump down and go to the right like we did, then the first generator doesn't spawn very many small mobs. These are what I call small mobs, yeah, these little mobs. So it doesn't spawn very many of those. Now the second generator, if you go exactly the way that we went, counterclockwise, let's say, from the entrance, then the second wave does spawn more waves of these little mobs, annoying ones. So having AoE is kind of an asset, yeah. Same thing with this generator, guys. Nothing special. We just kill the mobs. You just pull them, stack them together. Pay attention to panoplies if you're a Templar on your cleric. Bodyguards also. You know, don't be shy to waste cooldowns. Even if you pop Empyrean Providence in the first, let's say, 2 minutes or 3 minutes of the fight, you're still gonna have it by the almost by the time you kind of need to finish the waves of mobs. Yeah. Moving onwards to the last generator. Let's see where the last one is. I think this is the last one, yeah. Yeah. The last generator also spawns a wave in which little bombs, exactly like in Runeshield Tower, little bombs come. Those you cannot CC, for example. You just have to pay attention when they start glowing, then they explode. You know, just move away from them, and that's about it. As I said, as a Templar or as a tank, don't be afraid to pop your cooldowns because you have plenty of time after the third generator is done. I will show you at the end. This is the part after the third generator. As you can see, the generator is already dead. Um, it was here. It's already dead. And what we do is we kill the ranged mob. And then we went back with these mobs, the two melee ones, because we didn't want to aggro the boss. Now, the boss is right there and he has a pretty big aggro range. Yeah? I think his aggro range is up until here, something like that. So we don't want to aggro the boss because I'm going to show you what happens after you aggro the boss. Yeah, I pop my Empyrean Providence because as you can see, I'm going to actually show you exactly the times just for you to guys to completely understand what's going on. Where is the pillar still alive? So here the generator is still alive. Yeah, we're spawning the last wave of mobs. As you can see, our timer is 909 at the moment. Yeah, if we go, as long as the timer is going to progress at about 930, basically we have about 40 seconds remaining before, you know, everything disappears and resets. So at about 930 I'm gonna take all these mobs on me, because mobs don't matter but totems do. We did really good for a level 68. It's pretty good times. It can be done faster, of course, maybe by a minute faster, something like that. But this is a good time as well. So if one thing, speaking about levels, this is about 940. So all the DPSs are on the totems, on the last totem, and they're gonna be killing it because no more waves come. This is the last mob, so we're gonna be taking them to the rift as I showed you. A thing to know, guys, there is no rush. If you're like a level 66, there is no rush for you to go inside this dungeon and to do it. We obviously finished it server first, Europe first, whatever, but we were 66 at that point. We just wanted to finish it, and then we didn't do it again until we were I think 67. So there is no need for you to start doing this dungeon at 66 because it's pretty hard. The higher level you are, mobs in here are level 70, boss is level 70 as well. So the higher level you are, the better time you're gonna have in the dungeon, and the easier it's gonna be for you. After you finish the last totem, you can take a break. You can, you know, rebuff or, you know, do whatever you need to do, and then you start moving towards the boss. Be careful, since the boss has such a huge aggro range. I will pause it. Actually, I will pause it so I can explain to you what happens later on. Since the boss has such a big aggro range, you need to move as a group. It is super important. During this run, I personally forgot that, and I just started moving like a pleb, sprinting towards the boss, which was really bad because, as you will see, a couple of people actually died because of this. So right now we start moving, and I'm about to click my sprint for no particular reason, you know, slipped my mind basically. I'm clicking my sprint, and the other group members are very far behind. The group members are actually right here. Yeah, and I am already aggroing the boss, and the boss is also doing this cast. Sinister Order Scream. Now this is a stun. This has nothing to do with what my point is. My point is that when you aggro the boss, that second, the boss, the room, just this part of the room is available, yeah, just the dark brown part. Outside, everywhere outside, there is a basically a blue fog that one shots everyone. So what happened here was that I rushed in, I aggroed, and the other people could not avoid the blue fog in time, and basically they died. Now, luckily, there is a small delay. This is what I mean by the blue fog, this thing right there. And it's all around the room, all around the edges of the room, yeah? Even here, if you're standing here, you're still gonna die. Even if it doesn't appear in blue or purple, you're still gonna die if you're standing anywhere. Yeah. So I have to pay attention. I was lucky that there is a little delay in between the moment you enter the fog and the moment you die, because as you can see, they actually died here. And it's not nice at all for you to rush as a tank. Just move as a group. Yeah. Cool. Continuing with the boss fight. Be smart about it. As I always say, be smart about it. Since the cleric is dead and other two group members are dead as well and need resting, the chanter is obviously busy with resting. So don't be afraid to, if you're a templar, to pop a couple of cooldowns like I did with Iron Skin. The boss fight at level 68 lasts quite some time, and there is no need for you to be shy. This is an important mechanic. When the boss teleports at about 90%, the boss teleports and he starts spawning these clones of himself. Yeah, there are 4 clones, and I always leave the first one or the first two on the group members, because they do only 2 skills. They do this one, the targeted attack on one group member, the one with the highest aggro, usually the cleric or the chanter, just like in Runadium. Actually, when those clones appear on top on the pillars, then obviously the highest aggro will be the one that's healing, so it's either going to be the chanter or the cleric. So you, as a chanter cleric, be prepared that when the clones are up, if the templar doesn't take them, or if you have an assassin tanking, yeah, then obviously all of the 4 clones, or of the 3 clones, because the first one is not, due to the DPS aggro, all of the other 3 clones are going to be on you. This is another very important mechanic which I would like to emphasize on. This should be, in theory, the only reason that you wipe. Actually, one of the 2 reasons that you might have difficulties in this dungeon. We call them blue spots. It is very important to know that there is also a cast for this one. It's not Flame of Darkness. I'm going to point it out to you guys. Dark Star. So Dark Star is a cast that generates blue spots on the ground. Pay attention, sometimes you do not see the blue spots on the ground. So paying attention to the cast, Dark Star, instead of the spots on the ground is a lot better for you. Yeah. Blue spots, you have plenty of time to run out of them. If you do not run out of them, they do, on myself, I think it's an 8 point something K damage. On a sorcerer, it can be even a 12K damage. I haven't done exactly correctly the math. They appear under each person. Yeah. So if you're staying stacked like we do, and you forget to run away from the dark star cast, which is the blue spots, then you're obviously gonna take your circle, the guy's circle, the cleric circle, the chanter circle. So you're gonna basically just die. As you can see, all of the room almost gets filled with the circle. If you take your own circle, pay attention to that. If you feel like you're going to take your own circle for whatever reason, I'm also going to take one during this run, then at least be ready to self heal with a pot, with a skill, whatever. So be smart about it and pay attention to the things that happen. Dark Star is one of the 2 most important things during this boss fight. There shouldn't be anything else that takes you by surprise. There is damage on the tank, 8k hit, Dark Star again, as you can see, and this time I did not see the cast because I was paying attention to something else. And as you can see, I did not see on the ground either. So I took the damage, yeah, but at least I was healed really fast by the cleric, because I actually pointed that out during the run. The assassin didn't see it either, but unfortunately he died. Yeah. So that can happen as well. As a chanter, be ready to rest and just continue DPSing. Yeah. The boss is gonna teleport again, and he's gonna again start spawning the ads. As you can see, I'm not gonna deal with number one at all because that's the strat that we chose to do. The number two is gonna come as well. I'm not gonna touch this one, and after it had aggro on myself, it went to the chanter due to the heal. Number three, this one I'm gonna take on myself, and the last one I'm gonna take on myself as well. Why we do it like this is because we had a couple of bad experiences during our first runs in which I took everything on myself. That's super possible with you just use an iron skin or use the earth transformation right here, and you just take all four ads on yourself while the DPS kills them. Two reasons why it's not cool to take all four on yourself and continue keeping them on yourself is because by the time the number one is first, by the time the number one is dead, all of the ads are in the room, and if you stack them up together and then you continue stacking with the boss, then if you have more than one melee DPSs, you're gonna be in trouble because there's gonna be lots of AoE from the boss, there's gonna be from the ads as well. So you want to split, let's say, the ads towards the group members, and also they reset. This is an important thing that I want to mention. I sometimes at the beginning took all of them on me, and then almost when number one was almost dead because I was running with him on my back from the place he spawned to the place number four spawned, then he kind of reset for some reason. So we decided let's go the safe way. Yeah, after you kill the ads, again, it's the same mechanics all the time. Blue spots, single damage on the tank. There is also this thing right here. This is something that the boss does through a AoE around him. So if you have four melee DPSs right here behind, then all four of you plus yourself are gonna have this buff. This buff does debuff. Sorry, this debuff does 450 damage per second. It does actually 900 once in 2 seconds, but it's 450 per second. So just for you guys to know, you can deal with it as a tank, as a Templar. It's super easy, no problem. But if you have some squishies in the back, or if some sorcerers want to stay close for the extra DPS, then you have to, just take that for granted that you're going to get it and deal with it. Under 50%, I think I'm gonna skip under 50% because it's before 50%, it's always the same old, same old. Do not go in the blue spot on the edge of the room. Yeah, do not go there. And I would actually recommend not even going on this last black stripe here of the room, because sometimes I went there because I wanted to DPS the boss, because at the end he does jump there, and I died. It just caused extra grief, and you don't need that. There is no problem in staying anywhere in the room. I always tell them to stay stacked on the cancel. Our chanter is marked with cancel, and they just stack on the chanter so that the blue spots they will avoid very easily by moving left or right. Yeah. Again, the ads, again, the same thing. I'm not going to touch number one. I'm not going to touch number two because they just go on them. By the time this number two actually reaches the cleric, he stops for a couple of seconds and then he starts doing a directed hit of 6k 7k damage. So by that time number one is already dead and the DPS start going on number two. So number two basically only gets to do one cast on the cleric slash chanter, and he's already on one of the other DPSs. Yeah, 3 and 4 I take on myself. Always pop a cooldown when I have 3, 4 and the boss, because it gets pretty tough. Boss is under 50% now, so what's going to happen is a new mechanic comes into play, which is the second most important mechanic that I want to talk to you guys about. Transformation into a Balur, like I just did now. Same as in Beritra, you get transformed into a Balur and then you start looking around for this guy right there. Weak Deva's soul. While you are transformed into Balur, you still take the dot that you have already because you're the tank, this one 450 a second. You take some damage because of this dot as well. And if the boss still has aggro of you, for example, if you recently taunted, if you recently used Prayer of Victory, or if you recently used this skill as a temporary as well, then the boss is still going to have aggro on you. So while you're transformed, you're not safe. You're safe from the blue spots on the ground that come. That's pretty cool, but you're not safe from the boss's directed attacks nor the debuff damage that you have, and you have two of them. Yeah. Cool. So let's move on. You look for this guy, you talk to this guy, you wait for everyone that's transformed, you wait for them to come here to this place, and then only you talk to the guy. Otherwise, you're just gonna waste this guy's cooldown, you know, because he does have a cooldown, and you're only gonna get yourself cleaned, but the other guy not. In this case, I actually died. I could have actually popped the vision stigma there. I did not, because I thought that I could actually click it. Sometimes it happens that the debuffs interrupt you. Sometimes it happens that the boss's attack interrupts you when you want to click it. So if you get two people transformed, or three or four, because that can happen, then ask someone else besides the guy that's having the aggro to click the NPC, yeah, and be fast about it. For example, here I get transformed again, yeah. It's again me and the assassin. It can be random. So we both walk there, and this time I ask the assassin. Actually, no, this time I finish it myself. So we both get transformed. I'm gonna bodyguard the assassin because he's really low until he gets healed from the cleric, and that's about it. Very simple, straightforward. The boss moves again. Again, the boss spawns ads, blue circles. Under 50%, shit starts going crazy, kinda. So you have transformation, you have blue spots, you have ads, and they happen a lot more often as well. Yeah, as you can see, blue spots already happened twice in the past minute, so you have to pay attention to that. Let's skip a little bit. Again, blue spots. Yeah, so pay attention. It's gonna be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you will have, if you're used to only avoiding, if you're a sorcerer and you're used to only avoiding blue spots with your leaps or the chain from the ice skill, then you're obviously not gonna have those cooldowns under 50%. Yeah, so pay attention. You need to run as well. I would like to show you one other important thing. This is the ads part. It's not as important. We never got transformed into Balurs during the ads phase. I don't know if you can get transformed into Balurs during the ads phase. That would be a little bit rough. But if it happens, then pray that your tank doesn't get transformed. If your cleric gets transformed, that's all good, because you go right away, you get untransformed, and you get cleaned, and then the tank can pop a couple of cooldowns and deal with the ads, yeah? Especially if it's a Templar tanking. Again, the blue spots, I want to show you this one that I actually took as a blue spot. This is obviously a no-no, but it can happen. Look, this is also very important. 3 people right now got transformed into Balurs, yeah? These 3. Actually, I think it's 1, 2, 3. No, it's 3 people. The other 3 are totally clean. So these 3 people are transformed into Balurs, and they will start running and finding the NPC. When they do find the NPC, they will. One of them will talk to the NPC, and then all of you just wait there until you get cleaned. Yeah, that's the only thing that you need to do. I don't know where I took the blue spot, but I did take one, so that's not cool. Under 25%, shit starts getting real crazy. Yeah, so you have to keep a couple of cooldowns for under 25%. If you're playing with a Templar, I always keep Imperium Providence under 25%. You can keep Prayer of Victory as well. If you don't want to run Prayer of Victory, then you kind of don't need to. I will actually make a guide on stigma choices for Arkhals and Library of Knowledge as well, but that's going to be a little bit later, maybe next week, in 2 weeks, something like that. Cool. Other than that, he goes in the middle. He keeps teleporting, and one time he's gonna actually teleport, like now, and he's gonna put a shield on himself. As you can see, this is the stun, and then Beritra's protection. This is a shield that makes him invulnerable. It cannot be dispelled. And then what he does is spawn all of the 4 ads at the same time. See, in the room. Now, this is a good time for you to keep Imperium Prayer of Victory on, because you can basically taunt all of the ads together. We group up here because we know this is going to happen. And I'm going to just use Imperium Providence and run out of the blue. There's always blue spots when he does that and when he spawns the ads. So he spawns the ads, he puts blue spots, and then you pop Imperium Providence and you run all together in the same towards the same direction. Now these ads, I'm gonna take all of them on myself. Yeah, just pop a couple of cooldowns. I have Imperium Providence. I can pop 2 KDP. I can pop the self heal 2 KDP. So it shouldn't be any problem as long as your cleric and chanter are aware of the fact that you are going to take all of them on yourself, and they heal you, and as long as you are prepared for it, and after Imperium Providence you can actually pop the Vision Stigma, that's a good thing. This is a very bad thing what happened here. Instead of running backwards, I wanted to run with my group members, and I took one of the blue spots. I will show you because this is actually very important. It shows the importance of not taking any blue spot. It is very important to always, stay cool and keep a cool head, like this spot. Instead of me, for example, running backwards, there was a free spot right here. Yeah, I start to run this way. This is a very bad thing because I should never do that. I should never run through other people. Obviously, people should be stacked all together, because if they're stacked, then I don't get this circle and I don't get this edge here. This edge here is from our cleric. This edge here is from our sorcerer. So as long as people stay stacked, then you're not going to have any problems. But I choose the wrong way and I go that way. I take one hit from the circles, as you can see. 9 points. Actually, I take two. I take 9.6 and 9.6. Now what happens after is that, as you can see there, those ads are casting their skill. Yeah, and their skill kind of hits me for 6.6k each. Since those ads are still three of them, then 6.8k they hit me. Then this is GG for me. Why is it GG? It's because I took two blue circles instead of taking none. Yeah, could have popped again my Vision Stigma. That would have saved me as well. So you pay attention and be smart about this. After these ads are gone, this keeps on coming, blue circle, etc. You just continue doing the boss until the boss is actually dead. This is a very important part that I really want to show you guys. The power of cooperation and staying together. Yeah, the boss is going to transform us. The boss is going to transform, I think, 3 or 4 of us. And like now, we are 1, 2, 3 of us are transformed. So I go to this NPC, but I don't click it yet because I need my people next to me before I do that. It's very important. One thing that happens here, the cleric comes this way just so she can be ready to heal us really fast after we get rid of the transformation. So this is just a nice thing. Shows initiative basically. Yeah, so it's really good for this to happen. We talk, we all of us together get transformed, and then we get healed pretty fast up. We finish up the boss, and that's about it. In terms of big cooldowns from the cleric and chanter's point of view, then obviously when at 25%, when he puts a shield and he puts the 4 ads and the blue spots, that's when I pop, or if you have a Templar, he pops Imperium Providence. Now, if you don't have a Templar, as a chanter you can pop your shield. If you don't have a Templar, when the chanter pops their shield under 25%, when he goes in the middle and puts the shield, you can pop your 4k DP as well. Yeah, so these are the things that in my head you can pop. There is no need to pop anything before that, because as you can see, nothing special really happens. But at 25%, you will need to get through that part, killing all of the 4 ads, while the 4 ads are going to be on your tank / one of the healers. So having Chanter Shield, 4k DP from Cleric at 25, that's really nice. After that, when the Chanter Shield expires, the Cleric can use the 2k DP, and Chanter can use the Elemental Screen, and by that time you should have already 2 or 3 ads cleared. That's about everything, guys. I will show you what the drops are from this dungeon in a couple of weeks when I'm planning to do an unboxing video. Next up is Library of Knowledge. I'm gonna make that guide. In the meantime, guys, I wish you lots of fun in 5.0. I wish you lots of love, and don't forget to subscribe.